I started the battle by seeing if I could get any shots onto tanks rushing the castle, but there wasn't a shot for me to take there, so now I'm going to push up into the city and see what I can do from here. They have a lot of forces on the heavy line, so there's a good chance that they're going to push the top side. Should have fired gold there. At this point, by looking at the minimap, I can assume that the enemy heavies are probably going to return to defend their base. They have no one else there right now, and all of them are headed in that direction, so I want to relocate to have some shots on them.
We hit a module.
Horrible shot by me.
More resources for us.
Now that the Object 752 is on reload, I'm going to be able to chase him down, and even with my mediocre DPM, I think I should be able to finish him off before he reloads.
Target acquired. Good job.
Now, onto the tank review, but before we go there, I have to say this tank probably has the best 3D style I've ever seen in World of Tanks. I can't think of one that really beats this 3D style, so props to whoever created this style within Wargaming. But aside from the style, we have some things to talk about because it's not an ideal tank. The MKpz 68P, the game that you guys just saw was my best game of the night. I did play about 15, somewhere between 15 and 20 rounds tonight, and I'm not gonna lie, I struggled with this tank. It's been a while since I've played it, but I thought I would play it tonight because the new battle pass is going to have this tank waiting at the end of it. So I did want to get out another game with this tank. This round I did about 3.9k damage, 148 assistance, which puts me at about 4k combined, which isn't a bad result for this tank by any means. This tank is definitely not a beginner friendly tank. It does have the 400 alpha damage gun, but it's really not an easy tank to play. Honestly, I would say it's most comparable to a 122 TM, and honestly, somewhat comparable to a GSOR 1010 as well. But I would say this tank is not as friendly as the 122 TM, not as beginner friendly as the 122 TM, simply because the 122 TM has the much better armor layout, and you can get away with a lot of things on the 122 TM. For example, you can somewhat side scrape in that 122 TM, at least on lower tier games. You can't do any of that with the MKpz 68B. If someone's shooting at you, they're going to penetrate you 9 out of 10 times. But I do find myself making a decent amount of credits with this tank. It does have good AP rounds at 230, which have 230 pen and I think 1100 shell velocity. So usually when I play this tank, I don't find myself shooting a lot of gold. It's mainly a lot of standard AP ammo. And as you guys can see, I played this game without a credit booster. I do have WoT Premium. I currently don't have WoT Plus activated, but I still ended up making about 87,000 credits with another 11 added to the stock reserves. It is a pretty decent credit maker. Is it the best one? No, but it's a pretty decent credit maker. Now, you guys are going to have about 10 days to grind this tank, and I do think you still have to pay for the tank on top of paying for the battle pass, but don't quote me on that. I may be wrong about it. Is it worth the grind in the 10 days? I personally wouldn't say so because, you know, when I first got the tank, it honestly wasn't that enjoyable to play. I just feel like there are much better tanks to play out there. For example, I enjoyed the 122 TM a lot more compared to this tank, and I also really enjoy. I know for a fact I love the GSOR 1010 a lot more than I like this tank, just because the GSOR 1010 it moves around a lot faster. You've got slightly better DPM, and the gun is just way better. That's another thing I have noticed when I'm playing this tank. Even with vertical stabilizers, I find that if I'm not fully aiming my shots, there's a good chance I'm not going to hit them. So do keep that in mind as you consider whether you want to spend your money on this tank. And I do have another game available with this tank, so I'm going to post the link to that game at the end of this video. It's going to be either on the top left or the top right corner, and I will catch you guys in the next one.